With CK3 coming up on its 3rd anniversary soon, I want to take some time to appreciate its predecessor, which is coming up on its 12th anniversary, and a game which I think everyone should get a chance to play. That would be Crusader Kings 2. CK2 was the true beginning of a new line of Paradox games. While it did launch 2 years after Victoria 2, and several years after the Clausewitz engine was announced, it felt like the next coming of a new era for Paradox Interactive. And while not every game in this era would be successful, Crusader Kings 2 and EU4 stand out as great iterations in the Paradox library. CK2, from February 2012 until 2018, would have constant releases of DLC, similar to modern Paradox games. Many of these DLC represent why Paradox is so great, adding in great new flavor and significant new regions. For example, we gained India, the Western Plateau, and many more regions, alongside fun and great new events such as the Sunset Invasion, where the Aztecs would invade Europe. We also gained significant start dates, with 769 for Charlemagne, and even 936 with the Iron Century. CK2, unlike CK3, also included basically an infinite amount of start dates. While they weren't always updated, and sometimes lagged behind, the start dates from 1066 on did have some flavor and were playable in any year of your choosing. While we were discussing regions and things that were added in CK2 that were continued in CK3, in part, there are some other features that were not continued in CK3 from CK2. It is important to note that the significant plague mechanics and societies were not included in CK3. While CK3 has added its own flavor, with tours and tournaments and royal court, I don't feel like it matches up to what societies offered. They were your own way to interact with characters with similar issues or goals as you, and to build up prestige, separate from your own country building or world conquering origins. It just felt like a great way to roleplay the game as a Viking fighting other people, or an assassin, etc. And I do personally think that is something truly missing from CK3. While CK2 is actually free to play, many of the DLC are needed to get the full experience. Many religions, and even government types, are blocked from playing unless you have specific DLC. That being said, while the DLC price looks daunting when you look at it without sales, you can pick up all the DLC for 90% off during most major sales, basically costing you $30. Including the free base game, I think that's a pretty good deal for all you get, and I've spent hundreds of hours playing CK2 and enjoying it. I think when CK3 first came out, I was concerned with the missing significant flavor. As I mentioned, the lack of societies, pandemics, but also the lack of many government types that are available in CK2 and the flavor surrounding them. And looking back on CK3, almost 3 years later, I still feel like this is definitely true. We don't have the full access to republics or horse lords as I felt like we had in CK2, and personally, I just enjoy playing those nations, and I feel like it's a very fun experience you get from CK2, hence why I still play the game. Not to mention the year's worth of mods that are greatly developed for CK2, such as the Game of Thrones mod, which was recently released for CK3, but doesn't come close to all the start dates, flavor, etc. for it. Therefore, and I don't think I could say this enough, anyone who's new to Paradox games or has never played it, I would highly recommend you play CK2. Even the free base game alone is awesome, but with all the DLC, it is truly a great experience and a complete game. I just couldn't recommend it enough. Great job, Paradox Interactive. Sincerely, Wonder Productions.